All right, what do you think about stickers and charts and reward systems? This for that.
So there's different, I think it depends somewhat on the kid and it depends on your guys' family dynamics. So some families are going to function where these are just expectations of being part of a family. Some kids are going to need more positive reinforcement than just that verbal praise. I think the verbal praise should happen no matter what, but some kids also need visual reminders for things, especially if you reiterating it all the time is going to bother you as a parent.
So,
So,
like a chart or a system can be not just like, hey, if you do this, you get that, which by the way, I don't love. Well, I'll talk about that in a second. But it could be these are the chores of the week, and here's a list that we can check off each week. Like that can be helpful.
yeah. And so those visual type reminders are also really good for younger kids because if a kid is still learning how to read, there can be pictures of
Mhm.
things. So there's ways to get creative as well. And kids do well with positive reinforcement. So being able to check something off or put a sticker somewhere or something like that can definitely be a good positive behavioral reinforcement tool. But the getting paid for this or that sometimes can definitely backfire.
That's what I was going to say that. I do not love, you get five, let's say each chore, let's say the child has five chores in a week and if you get a star next to each chore, then you get this treat on Saturday, right? I do not love that because
Doesn't always work, Sam,
it
because
doesn't, because
for
kids
a
can't
kid to wait
control
a
it.
week,
That's right.
that positive reinforcement model won't work out well because kids will get lost somewhere in the midst of that week and it won't work out.
And parents of teenagers make it even longer. Like if you do all your chores for a month, then you can have this e-bike or like right, like I'm just thinking about like what's trendy right now. If you want to get your kid an e-bike and you're feeling like that, okay, talk about what the contingent or what the rules are for using that and why you're doing it, but don't make it because you've done these chores, because then what we do is we make chore doing, and this applies to grades too, by the way, externally motivated. And not that kids are going to be necessarily internally motivated to do the chore because they like it, but we want them to be internally motivated to do the contributing,
Yeah.
right?
Well, also
So
too, once they get that external reinforcement item, if it's the big e-bike or whatever, the ice cream on Sunday, the motivation to continue falls off. It's
yeah,
gone.
they're like, what's my next treat?
So, and then you have to keep upping the ante. You're going to go broke doing this.
Or you're going to raise a kid who's incredibly transactional. And when I know as an educator, when I had kids in school whose parents did this in their household, I could tell because they were like, why should I do this? Like, what's in it for me?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you ask them to help or something, like they would just be like, no, like being a part of a community matters not to me. And so in this way, we are raising kids of good character when we ask them to contribute. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to say around getting them nagging.
Oh, not good.
Yeah.
Not good.
But it's so we all get into it. Like, what if you've got a kid who has a chore and you're like, hey, you didn't do that chore. Hey, it's Tuesday, you didn't do that chore. Hey, it's Wednesday, you didn't do that chore. It's Thursday, you didn't do that. Yeah. Guilty, by the way.
Yep, for sure.
If you can find a way to not be a nag, even if that might sound like, if you sat on it for a while and you're tempted to nag, you could go to your child and be like, listen, I know that if I say what I want to say, I'm going to totally blow it between you and me, but that's where I am right now. And so instead of nagging, you confess where you are. You narrate what's going on inside of you. It's because there's this unfinished thing and it's in my head and I don't know if it's in your head, and I kind of want to check it off my to-do list, but it requires you to do something. And I don't know if that's fair or not fair. I'm just letting you know that our relationship is breaking down a little bit the more you delay this task.